Hey, welcome. This is episode 75.
What?
3/4 of the way to that wonderful day you guys are waiting for. I ain't even gonna say it. But they know. He knows.
I was just letting him know.
That's a free preview. Yeah. We're 3/4
Episode
of the way.
75, where Thomas Four plays himself.
Hey, we just watched Raw.
We
Now
did.
we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna review it. So this is the Raw review.
Hey, I like how you did that. It's like you meant for that to happen. Well, you did kind of.
Yeah.
We're gonna
call the intro.
That's what that is.
So we had the quarterfinal matches in the tournament for the championship that will culminate at Survivor Series. Be glad YouTube doesn't have 3D. Does it have 3D?
No.
Can we turn this into 3D?
If you're watching in the future, when YouTube has 3D, that freaked you the fuck out.
We had the first one, which was Kevin Owens versus Neville.
Yeah, and and we talked about it on SmackDown when we found out that this was going to be the match. We knew that this was going to be what we've expected from Owens versus Neville.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how much of their indie stuff you've actually seen.
Some.
But Kevin has actually shown me, one of your favorite matches is Kevin Steen versus Pac.
Pro Wrestling Guerrilla.
And that's if you go back to some of the 5 matches not to miss, I think the PWG edition has that one on it, and that's what we've been waiting for on WWE television. And we didn't get it in NXT because it was like the quick, okay, let's get rid of Neville because he's getting ready to get moved up, and then we got like one match between these two maybe like a month or so ago, and then this is what we were waiting for, and this match was fantastic.
Yeah. Don't correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I watched that one here with you guys one time.
Probably.
And it was a long match, and I think that was the one that I pointed out, like 20 minutes into it. I was like, I just realized this match has been going on forever. Because I was that invested.
Yeah, it's you got two guys that know each other so well. They're really good friends outside of the business, which makes for more epic matches.
Yeah.
And I mean, you had Neville doing just about everything. Right off the bat, you had him try to go for a red arrow, or he hit the Phoenix Splash early, tried to go off the top rope again. Owens decides, okay, I'm going to roll out of the ring, so Neville switches it up and moonsaults him on the outside. And Neville was just all over the place in this. And then Owens being as physical as he usually is. And
I like Owens super kicking Neville off the apron, but Neville just kind of like
melted off the apron.
For some reason, it made me think. Remember the sticky hands that you get for a quarter?
Yeah.
And you throw them against the wall, and they just kind of down the wall.
Yep, that's what Neville looked like.
Or he just his bones disappeared for a minute.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm a rubbery man.
He turned into a fucking snake.
No, snakes have bones.
Well, okay. Fine.
You're thinking of sharks.
Sharks don't have bones?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Yes.
That's weird.
It's all
The more you know.
Cartilage.
Thank you, Thomas.
It's all cartilage. And they have teeth for skin.
Wow. Anyway, back to
the
this
sharks
match.
are fucking invincible.
Back to
No
this
bones
match.
and teeth skin.
Neville tried to go for
And dicks for teeth.
the red arrow once,
No, but they do have 2 penises.
and ends up getting knocked off the top rope. And then when he goes to set up for it again, Owens ends up moving, and then, so the first one that he got knocked off, Owens tried to go for the pop-up powerbomb, and Neville ended up reversing
over him.
and then super kicked him, and then went up for the red arrow again, and then he came down, tried to hit it. Owens ended up moving, and then Neville ended up turning right into a pop-up powerbomb out of the corner. And it was just so much back and forth between these guys.
I appreciated that all these matches had a different feel to them. They weren't wrestled the same, and this was definitely a very indie-style match.
Yeah.
Especially when you add the reverse Rana.
Off of reversing the pop-up powerbomb the first time, hitting that super kick, and then hitting the Rana, it was just unbelievable. But yeah, Owens ends up moving forward to the semifinals with the pop-up powerbomb. Fantastic match. And he will be facing the winner of our next match, which was Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler.
This versus neither of those guys.
Yeah, because my guy don't wrestle no more. And that's a whole different match that we're going to talk about later.
This was my probably favorite match of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, it's
a toss-up.
Yeah.
This was a really good match.
I appreciated the technical style of this match.
Yeah, they started out wrestling each other for the good first portion of this entire match.
Yeah.
Well, it's a skill set that Ambrose has in spades that he doesn't often get to show.
Yeah. And Ziggler's always reserved for flashy moves, so he doesn't get to show it all that often either.
Yeah, and I love is because like I had the expectation, they're doing a lot of wrestling at the beginning, so they're going to count on a lot of high spots to get the crowd hyped at the end. And really, they didn't even end up going for, the 10 dives and all the crazy flips and stuff that you would normally see.
No, they just started getting more physical.
Yeah,
I mean, there was a couple Ambrose dives. Ambrose did his elbow drop and whatnot. But
and they both fell off the top rope to the floor at one point. But to say that rather than coming up with crazy high spots to end the match, they just did a series of counter until Dean Ambrose was able to hit Ziggler with the dirty deeds.
Yeah, it came out of a roll up, which I thought was wow. That's like the last move you'd expect to get turned into dirty deeds. But yeah, just the technicality between the two was just phenomenal.
Yeah,
and it played not only into the entirety of the match, but the end as well. It was just nonstop counter for counter. Who could get that final move?
It's a thing they often do with two faces who haven't really wrestled each other, or at least haven't wrestled often.
Yeah.
Is they'll throw away their usual style and just start feeling each other out.
Yeah, and it worked really well. And we even, that's a great segue. We even kind of had that same situation in our next match. Roman Reigns versus Cesaro.
Yeah, I feel like having Owens versus Neville as the opener definitely kind of set the bar.
Right.
Where they had their match, and you had to think like Ziggler and Ambrose were like, they're going first. Fuck, we gotta come up with something cool.
Yeah.
And then Cesaro and Roman Reigns going next. We have to follow those two matches. Shit, we have to really fucking.
Yeah, and so we had very much
game.
We had very much the same, like you were saying, the feeling out process between Cesaro and Reigns, but this was much more power based.
Right.
It was literally who could overpower the other one first to get that first advantage.
Yeah.
We had the battle for suplexes, which was kind of ridiculous at one point.
It was good
when they both tried to suplex themselves at the same time.
Suplex each other simultaneously,
and it just bunny hopped. But yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna be honest. With as many times as you see battles for suplexing, who gets a suplex who, I'm surprised you don't see that more often. Actually,
yeah,
both guys try to pick each other up simultaneously.
Yeah, it was fun, and Roman Reigns had to think a little bit outside of the box because he's going against a very all-around wrestler.
Yeah,
because Cesaro can do everything.
Yeah,
because Cesaro.
Well, it's like I said when the commentator. When Michael Cole's like, JBL, who do you think has the advantage? And JBL's like, Cesaro. I was like, yeah, obviously Cesaro, because he's the better wrestler, and he's stronger, and he's faster.
You were going to say it before JBL actually said Cesaro.
Right.
You were ready to answer Michael Cole's question first.
Because, I don't know, just the guy who's better at everything has the clear advantage.
Yeah, and Roman Reigns having to, still hit all of his usual moves, but in different situations. His apron drop kick, he ended up going for the first time while Cesaro was kind of like against the ropes. I don't know if he was trying to get back in the ring or what. Cesaro was getting counted out and was starting to get back in. Reigns came around, ended up drop kicking him off, and then he went for it a second time, and Cesaro ended up grabbing his legs and swung him around at that point.
And it was like. it looked legitimately like Roman Reigns did not want that to happen. And Cesaro gave him one of the most forced-looking swings ever.
He told him at the beginning of the match, he goes, "Whatever you do, don't swing me because I'm not feeling very good."
I was going to say, I feel like they argued about whether or not they were going to do the swing in the match.
Cesaro was like, "You're going to do it whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
You don't have an option." But then Cesaro tries to go for his deadlift suplex from the apron to the inside. And Reigns is able to fight it off and actually hit the Superman punch and knock Cesaro off the top.
Yeah, so we're like, okay, well, here comes the end. Roman Reigns gets in, sets up for a spear. He runs right into a European uppercut.
Yeah,
really
and
hard.
Then Cesaro sets up for the neutralizer, which Roman Reigns counters into a body drop, but Cesaro lands on his feet and goes for another European uppercut, gets hit with a Superman punch again. Then Roman Reigns comes off the ropes twice, hits a mega spear, and Roman Reigns moves on to the semifinals. And he
really a mega spear?
Well, you go off the ropes twice and get.
See, Roman, if you would have listened to me though initially when I was yelling at you during the match, and speared him from the top rope, you would have won earlier.
Or a slingshot spear. That would have been.
Or he would have got a super European uppercut.
Oh yeah, even uppercuttier.
You're just setting him up to lose to Cesaro.
Well, secretly we all were.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about the one commentary spot in this match where Roman Reigns does the one-armed powerbomb, and then JBL endorses trying that at home.
Try that at home. See if you can lift a person up.
I dare anyone at home to. If anyone that wants to try that, try it at home. My proposal like, well, actually, we don't want anybody trying any of this stuff at home.
I'd just be like, I can just hear Vince on the other side of the headset.
John, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, it's gonna be weird when you realize there's a reason why JBL's not calling Survivor Series.
When it ends up being Booker T, you know why. But yeah, Roman Reigns will face...
JBL's grounded.
Roman Reigns will face the winner of our final quarterfinals match. We have Alberto Del Rio taking on Kalisto. This match...
Battle for Mex-American supremacy.
What I want to say about this match is if the Owens and Neville match was the indie match, this was the WWE match.
Yes.
Yeah. I was really let down by this match.
It wasn't as good as I would have
I expected a lot more out of it, and I'm going to be honest, the most, the end was good.
The end may have been botched.
Possibly. But honestly, like, the most, like, impactful moment of this, or, like, the most memorable moment of this match is that Kalisto lost his mask.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really remember anything else in the match other than the end.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just make a point out here. Nothing against Alberto Del Rio, because he's a good wrestler.
Yeah.
He's a good worker. But I really think this second run in WWE is falling flat.
Extremely.
Well, I think his first run in WWE fell flat too. So.
Yeah, just like his initial surprise return against Cena was great, but then they throw him into this Mex America storyline where it doesn't seem like he gives a shit.
He probably doesn't.
He heard U.S. title in first match. Okay, cool, but then he didn't hear we're gonna run this Mex America storyline where you're gonna be accompanied by Zeb Coulter.
I would imagine that they got him to sign a contract without like knowing what they were gonna do, and then they ran through a couple ideas and they landed on this, and Del Rio's like, "Fuck."
Apparently, there was like other worse options.
Well, I think there was probably other better options, and then Vince was just like, "No, we need Zeb back. We need to."
See, I don't have any problem with the Coulter and Del Rio alliance. I just don't. I just don't like the fact.
Theory.
Yeah, like the idea is interesting, and it's fun to hear Coulter on TV again and doing these promos.
Haters.
But there's no passion from Del Rio's side.
No, Coulter. Coulter said something in his promo that I want them to go in this direction, that they gave me an idea. They mentioned this, or we're watching, when he's like, there's no crime in Mex America. I want them to start playing up the fact that there's only 2 citizens, and for Del Rio to start being like, have Coulter be like, there's no crime in Mex America, and Del Rio be like, except for when you stole the last pizza bagel earlier. And just have stuff like that.
I don't know what's more like entertaining to me, the idea of they would have like a petty little like passive aggressive comments, or the fact that Del Rio would admit to eating pizza bagels.
That's like my thought is the funniest part is I want to hear Del Rio upset that he didn't get to eat a pizza bagel. Anyway, yeah.
If you told Del Rio pizza bagels existed, he'd probably think actual full bagels turned into pizzas, not like the little round things that you
might
get.
actually be better.
Yeah.
Anyway, since we really don't give a shit about this match, obviously, so we had Kalisto set up for the double stomp.
I didn't think about this until exactly right now, at this moment where I just had the fit of realization that I actually liked the Ryback match better than the Del Rio match.
Yeah.
That one ended in DQ too. The Ryback match.
No.
You're talking about
Ryback versus Kalisto.
Yeah, no, way better.
Yeah.
That one was 10 times better than this match.
What I feel like, I'm gonna blame Del Rio for this match not being great.
That's okay. I've already done it like twice.
Well,
that was this whole thing with nothing against Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah, because what I think this was they're starting to see, because I was talking about this when the match was starting, that they're starting to see that they need to start molding Kalisto into their next Rey Mysterio. Not like the same, not make him the same guy, but like give him that.
Yeah, in the same vein.
Give him that push, give him that small lucha that can be.
They're going to actually turn him into Rey Mysterio, and Rey Mysterio gets to come back, and
then we have a rehash.
And then Sin Cara comes out and goes, "The fuck, guys! I already did this."
Yeah.
Mrs. C's come back, and then we get a tag team match where it's Mrs. C's and Rey Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Rey Mysterio.
I think they're seeing that they need to start cashing in on what they had with Rey Mysterio and building it up again.
Yeah.
With Kalisto. So they gave him the Ryback match to like build anticipation for this match. This was supposed to be his like chance to really put his foot in the door to be on the periphery of the main event. And I think that WWE is going to look at this as he blew it, but Del Rio fucked him over by not having a good match.
It was the fact like everything Kalisto did was great. It was that Del Rio played the power game instead of the lucha game.
Yeah.
If this would have been strictly luchador style wrestling, this probably would have been match of the night.
And this is where it comes down to maybe not Del Rio's fault. Now I'll take it back off Del Rio to WWE's fault, where Del Rio is just not entertaining when he has to work WWE style.
Yeah, no, and we talked about it when he was in Lucha Underground.
Watching his Lucha Underground or his Ring of
Honor matches, yeah. Like there was a new fire in Del Rio, being able to just do what he wanted. You know, being stuck into that WWE mold doesn't work well for Del Rio. But back to this finish.
So there's a chance the match may not have been supposed to end right here.
Possibly.
I'm pretty sure it was, but
just because this has been Del Rio's finish.
But from how that happened, because it came kind of really suddenly.
Yeah. So Del Rio has Kalisto set up for the double stomp, and Kalisto was actually able to get out, fight out of it, and attempt a Super Rana, which then Del Rio blocks and gets Kalisto set back up for the double stomp, but double stomps his face.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think the lucky part here is that Kalisto is short enough that his head wasn't crushed between Del Rio's feet and the mat.
Del Rio had actually like slid off of him before his god. But needless to say, Del Rio moved on.
Right, so this was probably the intended finish. But if it wasn't, it makes sense why.
I don't blame you, Kalisto. Stay the fuck down.
Like, no one would kick out of that.
No. So now we have the semifinals at Survivor Series. We have Roman Reigns versus Del Rio, and we have Ambrose versus Owens. And the winners of those two matches will be in the finals, and one of these four men will be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about all the rest of the stuff that happened on
there was
Raw.
other stuff.
There was other stuff, because we opened up with the Brothers of Destruction, doing a very dark and sinister promo aimed at the Wyatt family.
We're gonna growl a lot.
I'm upset that this is now just a tag team match.
Kids.
This bothers me. I really wanted a Survivor Series style match, but I can't change their mind. But yeah, this was more so.
Maybe we can. Let's get 100,000 views on this video.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Make WWE see this video.
Yeah. Share it, like it,
people
reboot
share it to WWE, share it to Vince, share it to Triple H, share it to Stephanie, share it to John Laurinaitis, even though he doesn't actually do anything in the.
Fuck John Laurinaitis.
Hey, people power.
Don't you say that. Very did. So yeah, Undertaker and Kane say their piece about how they have a special spot in hell.
By the way, we're just gonna preface this by they came out with the Druid March before that.
Yeah, which was pretty cool. Yeah, added a little bit more to the entrance. Yeah, you had.
And then I thought though, like initially, why do they have the Druids if they're just gonna come out and cut a promo?
Yeah, well, Undertaker made reference to the creatures of the night.
Yeah.
Which that also confused me because back in the 90s, that's just what he called his fans.
Yeah. Well, I think it makes enough internal sense because Wyatt, a couple weeks ago, came out showing off how he has all the power now. And this was Kane and the Undertaker bringing out their druids to establish, like, no.
No, we still control the darkness.
Yeah.
The Wyatt family ends up coming out, and Bray Wyatt says that no, you see, all the power to call the thunder and the lightning, that's now reserved for me. And at Survivor Series, we'll show you that your creatures of the night are now mine. And then we get the Wyatt family warp. The lights come back on, and all the druids have the sheep masks on, which was a fantastic image. And then Bray Wyatt says, "Run." And then they all decide to run at Undertaker and Kane, and that was a horrible decision.
I feel like Bray was like, no, guys, not
I meant run this way.
And they were wearing, so they were all wearing black masks.
Yeah, they had like the
masks over them.
Yeah, it was. I'm sure they were wearing like the bodysuits,
and I feel like a lot of them, when Bray Wyatt says run, a lot of them just started like bumping into each other.
Where do we go?
While they were trying to get in the ring.
And just find the ring and get inside of it so you can get punched.
I swear a few of them were kids.
Yeah, especially the one that Undertaker killed.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Undertaker murdered.
He chokeslammed his face off.
Yeah.
Legitimately. And then Harper, Rowan, and Strowman.
That was the most intense chokeslam Undertaker's done in the last decade.
Harper, Rowan, and Strowman start to march down to the ring. Bray tells them to stop. Because they're not going to, they're not going to give a preview of Survivor Series. They're going to wait till Survivor Series where they can make the statement against the Brothers of Destruction. I don't like that it's now just a tag team match.
Yeah,
that sucks.
I think it should have at least been a handicap match.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have been okay with that.
Yeah.
But anyway. So our first non-tournament match, we had Tyler Breeze taking on R-Truth. You can kind of guess where this one went.
R-Truth won.
Nope. He ended up hitting the scissor kick that Tyler Breeze ended up kicking out of. R-Truth then went for a suplex that was reversed. Tyler Breeze shoved him off the ropes, and when he came back, got hit with a beauty shot, and Tyler Breeze picks up his first win on Monday Night Raw.
Hey, Tyler Breeze winning stuff, doing things.
Then we had a
What's up with that?
six-man tag team match where the Usos would team up with Ryback and they would take on the New Day.
Yeah, gotta love the nudie.
This was a fun match. I liked that we got a very old school kind of feel where there were a couple times where Ryback got tagged in, but the ref didn't see it, so he had to stop Ryback, and then you get like the the very, the oversell of the heel tag.
Yeah.
Just so that the ref can see it, just kind of poking at the faces.
And speaking of poking at the faces, Big E going off on Ryback during the abdominal stretch.
Stupid!
You can't do anything because you're stupid.
Jey Uso is like, he's trying to take back like the 6 months that he missed by just diving and overshooting every time.
Yeah, he thinks that he gets twice as far, he can make the dives up twice as fast.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. He like overshot Big E and Kofi on the outside.
And I'm basically certain that if he was trying any harder, he would have been in like the 4th row.
But yeah, so eventually Ryback gets so frustrated that he's just like, screw this, I'm done. Him and Jimmy both get in because Jay keeps getting stopped from making the tag. They
like
end up
how
getting,
Big E threw him halfway across the ring.
yeah, and Ryback's just like, alright, fuck this. He gets in and starts, bum rushing the New Day and actually shoves the referee, and that's where the referee calls for the bell. There was no official call.
That's a disqualification.
But yeah, I'm going to call that a DQ on Ryback and the Usos, so the New Day pick up the win, but they end up getting beat down afterwards, and the Usos music plays.
I've noticed
Xavier Woods gets gorilla pressed out of the ring onto Kofi and Big E.
Yeah.
I've noticed it's a thing they do a lot nowadays. And I kind of noticed this because they do so many disqualifications nowadays. A lot of times, unless it's a title match, they'll just ring the bell and not say who won.
Yeah.
They'll just say the match was thrown out.
And it was extra confusing because they played the Usos theme song. And even though Ryback, you were saying that Ryback did all the work.
Yeah.
As far as the beatdown on the New Day afterwards. So
He did. He beat them all up.
So the Usos won because they're the Usos. Alright.
Yeah, sure.
That's fine with me.
Then we had a really quick
They should have a dive off. See who could dive the farthest. Ryback and Big E would lose.
No, Ryback would lose. I think Big E would take it with that spear he does through the
Yeah,
through the ropes.
I'm pretty sure he would still not win.
Well, not compared to the other 4 guys.
Well, yeah, that's what he'd say.
He'd definitely beat Ryback though.
Yeah.
I don't know which Uso can dive the farthest. Right now it's looking like Jay.
Right. Yeah, I think Jay's taking that right now. We had a quick tag team match. Don't know why, but we had the Dudleys versus the Ascension.
We have.
I gave you the best explanation while we were watching it.
Tell the people.
I had a really hard time saying explanation.
I had the best explanation. What was your explanation?
Just, hey, since the Usos are back, we decided to give all the tag team division attention to them real quick. So let's not forget that we have more than just the 2 teams. Here's 2 other teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Connor would end up getting taken out by Devon, and then Victor would get hit in the 3D, and the Dudleys pick up the win.
Hey-o.
Yeah, the only thing that I feel like I want to say about this match is like, why are they not having the Ascension with Stardust like all the time?
Yeah, and
This bothers me.
Not only that, not only did they have Stardust out there with the Ascension at this point, but they didn't do the Stardust section that they've been doing in all the Cesaro matches.
Yes, I don't know, they're just like...
Was Stardust there?
Maybe.
He might not have been there.
Then they should make mention of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Stardust is in his intergalactic headquarters devising some evil plan.
What planet is he from?
Nebuline.
Nebuline.
Watch Up, Up, Down, Down with Stardust. It's hilarious.
watch Up, and Down, Down. What are you doing watching this?
Yeah.
Well,
go watch...
Do I need an explanation why you should watch Up, Down, Down?
Well, let's talk about the end of Raw, and then you can go watch Up, Up, Down, Down. Because we had a contract signing for the Divas title match that'll happen at Survivor Series. Paige and Charlotte, Michael Cole moderating, and
Paige looking hot.
Charlotte looking hot too. Hot. Michael Cole's trying to get the answers as to why all of a sudden the issues between the two.
Yeah, Colt. First off, since when did contract signings become interviews?
Well,
Since he's a journalist.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, no.
Tell
them to sign the shit and get it over with.
No, I agree, but this is why they don't usually have journalists do contract signings.
It's usually King. But King's not on Raw anymore. They would have done it on SmackDown.
They should have JBL do it.
Yeah, former
Way more
general manager of NXT. The guy who took the title from Paige.
No, you know what? They should have had Byron Saxton.
Yeah, because they would have just ignored him and signed the thing and left.
They wouldn't have given a shit what Byron had to say.
Even if you asked them questions.
I feel like they're Paige and Charlotte, like before the contract signing, were like just both determined to just get the fucking thing signed and get it over with. And they're like, man, we really need something to happen. Things happen during contract signings. Cole, you need to ask them some questions to...
So, first off, I loved this segment.
This was fantastic.
I loved that this was the end of Raw.
If we rank, like, best segments of the year, this might...
Yeah, no, this was the absolute best note that Raw could have gone off on.
Yeah.
And it is good because it's organic.
Yeah.
Because it hits a real life thing that happened.
You know, because first it starts off, Paige saying that she threw Team PCB away. It didn't matter to her. And Charlotte's like, no, we were friends. Yeah. We come from similar backgrounds. She's trying to put over Paige, and Paige isn't taking it. And then
talking about how they both come from wrestling families.
Yeah.
And then, and Charlotte... Go ahead.
This whole thing built really well. Like, it started really like, I just want the title. Well, too bad I have the title. You're, if all this was your plan, it backfired. Well, blah, blah, blah. And then it built up.
Yeah. And then, and Charlotte had the first emotional shot because she talked about how, it's because of her little brother that passed away, Reed Flair. If it wasn't for him, she wouldn't be in wrestling.
Yeah.
She does this for him. She does this in remembrance of him. Not only that, but to also carry on the legacy that Ric Flair has. And then that gets, Paige talking about Ric Flair and talking shit about him, which
asking him to come down and elbow drop his coat.
Yeah.
Which I kind of wish he would have just done.
You just see Ric Flair just runs down and takes his jacket off anyway, and
wherever he was,
through the table.
Wherever he was, he probably elbow dropped his coat.
Probably.
He wasn't even watching Raw. He just his Flair senses were tingling.
He was wearing feel a disturbance of the Force. I have to elbow drop my jacket. I've been watching a lot of Star Wars. Sorry. But then and then it's Paige. That's where she really strikes the chord with Charlotte. Yeah. Charlotte starts yelling at her, saying, don't talk about my father like that. Because if you do, you're not going to make it to Survivor Series. You're not even going to make it out of this building.
Well, first she says there's not going to be a Survivor Series. And here's the thing.
That's how bad she's going to beat up.
Right. Here's the thing. I didn't make any snarky comments because I was so invested in this. But my first thought was, no, there'll still be a Survivor Series. Then I was like, wait, no. If Charlotte kills Paige here, they might cancel Survivor Series.
No, Charlotte makes the fucking rules. And if Paige keeps running her mouth, there's going to be no Survivor Series. The Undertaker's like, oh.
No, because they're going to start brawling and rolling around, and all the wrestlers are going to come out like they did for Lesnar Taker, but this fight is going to be so much more violent than Lesnar Taker that most of the roster is going to be dead.
Yeah.
Shit.
Including Lesnar and Taker.
So then it hits the really emotional part where, Charlotte's talking about, the fight that she has.
Yeah.
She's talking about, she's fighting for Reed, she's fighting for her father, she's fighting for her, she's fighting
because the Flairs are fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Paige...
Did we get the line... We haven't got this line since Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been 10 years since we got this. Paige says, well, your little brother didn't have very much fight in him now, did he? And Paige...
And you kind of, the crowd is just kind of, oh...
Yeah. And then Paige got a face full of Charlotte because she launched herself over that fucking table.
And I feel like one of my favorite parts is you could tell that JBL and Byron didn't know that was going to be said.
Yeah.
Because their reactions were so organic.
Yeah, it was
once they found once she started saying it, it felt like they were trying to stop her from saying it.
Yeah.
Like, no, Paige, no. Think of your family. Need some JR commentary over that. No, and then Charlotte proceeds to whoop the fuck out of Paige. It, like, this was...
sad there's no more fucking her. At least for a while.
Maybe if she wins the title on Sunday,
Yeah.
she'll have some fucking her.
Yeah.
Then
Take it back from Charlotte.
Then she'll give it all to you. Wifey. No, a fantastic segment between, like, you know, unfortunately, I would have liked if we got the Divas roster to come out and pull them apart.
The mini version of the Undertaker.
Instead we got 6 referees. Or 5 referees.
A herd of zebras.
Yeah, a herd of zebras stopped the fight between Charlotte and Paige, which they didn't do a very good job because they kept whooping the shit out of each other for a good 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, they were all on the outside. Paige's jacket ended up getting ripped. She lost a bunch of studs all over on the outside. And it was just an extremely epic moment for the Divas division.
Especially for this being the final segment of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what the Divas Revolution has needed. Something like this. Not like, oh, we're going to have 9 Divas in a match where none of them really get to shine and they all just kind of mix it up and are there.
Yeah, the fact this is strict one-on-one.
Something, and it's more so than that, something based in, like, just real emotion and real storytelling.
You know, and that's something that we attributed a lot to Kevin Owens when he first came in, is that his goal was to make money for him and his family. You know, and it's you get that real life situation that makes the storyline all the more emotional.
Yeah, and that's what I like on the main roster. You didn't have much of that ever since the WrestleMania angle with Chris Jericho and CM Punk.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's really the last time that there was a lot of realism in a storyline. And so it's nice to see more of that coming through. And, you know, I'm sure that, you know, with the friendship that Paige and Charlotte have, there was that moment is like, okay, I can trust this person saying this because we know that it's going to add to the match. Yeah. And, you know, it's not in vain, but boy did it come across that way in the promo. A fantastic way to go off the end of Raw. And makes me extremely interested to see what's going to happen this Sunday at Survivor Series.
Honestly, before this Raw, I was looking forward to Survivor Series because it's a pay-per-view I really like. But there was nothing like about it that I was just like, fuck yeah, I want to see this thing. But this segment, like, I am ready to see these two tear each other apart.
Charlotte and Paige are going to tear it down. And
you're going to build it up and tear it down again.
They ain't gonna build shit up. They're gonna tear it down, and then whatever's left, they're gonna tear that down too.
Oh shit!
And then all the stuff that's torn down, they're gonna tear it down again.
They're gonna tear it down to a molecular level.
Goddamn right. That's it for Monday Night Raw. That's it for our Raw review. Yeah. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and click all those links down there. Thanks to everyone that's been liking, sharing, reblogging, listening to the podcast. Yeah. Thank you for that. We appreciate it very much. Check out that playlist over there on the other side of Kevin Hawk, because not only will this Raw review be there, but we'll also have a midweek wrap-up, we'll have a SmackDown rundown, we'll have Survivor Series predictions coming up, and then we'll have an indie news where we will have CZW and WSU results.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So thanks again. Like I said, like, favorite, subscribe, all that stuff. Yeah. Check out all those links. Like us there.
Oh, that's stuff down there.
Oh, and like us there.
And comment.
No, like button.
Comment. What did you think about the Paige Charlotte situation at the end? What did you think about the quarterfinals matches? What do you think about the mystic battle that we're getting between the Bros of Destruction and the Wyatt family?
Who's gonna win the title tournament? Go.
Let us know who you think is gonna win. But we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.